Has this ever happened to you? You're sitting across from a woman. The chemistry is electric. Her laugh, her eyes, the way she leans in. It feels like she wants you. And then she looks at you and says the words that hit like a punch to the gut. We are definitely not having sex tonight. Your stomach drops. Your brain screams, game over. You start planning your exit, convincing yourself you misread everything. You walk away frustrated, confused, beating yourself up because once again you thought she wanted more. But clearly, she didn't, right? Wrong. That moment you thought was the end is actually the beginning. The sentence you feared most is often the biggest green light she can ever give you. Here's the harsh truth. Most men have no idea how to read women. They hear words, but they don't hear meaning. They see what's on the surface, but they miss the signals underneath. And those signals, they're everywhere. Women don't say, "I want you." They say the opposite. And unless you know the code, you'll keep missing your shot. So let me ask you this. How many times have you walked away from a woman, convinced she wasn't interested, only to realize later the signs were right in front of you? How many chances have you blown because you didn't know what she was really saying? If you felt that sting, you're not alone. Almost every man has. But the difference between men who go home empty and men who get the girl is this. They know how to decode the hidden language women use when they're turned on, but can't say it outright. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. Stay locked in, because once you see these 9 signals, you'll never misread a woman again. Now that you know the real reason you've been confused, let's dig into the hidden signals women give when they're attracted. And the first one is a phrase most men completely misunderstand. When a woman looks at you, maybe with a teasing smile, and says, "You're trouble," she isn't warning you to stay away. She's not actually trying to protect herself from you. What she's doing is battling herself and secretly hoping she'll lose. When a woman calls you trouble, what she really means is that you make her feel a way she doesn't normally allow herself to feel. You bring out a side of her she doesn't usually show. The word trouble isn't about danger in a bad way. It's about danger in the most exciting way possible. To her, trouble means excitement. Trouble means she can't control her thoughts when you're around. Trouble means she's imagining doing things with you that break her normal rules. Think about it. Women don't label boring men as trouble. They don't call the nice, predictable, rule-following guy trouble. That guy is safe, and safe doesn't stir up emotion. Trouble is what she feels when she looks at you and imagines herself stepping outside her boundaries. Trouble is when she feels that rush of adrenaline, that spark of attraction she can't explain, that heat in her chest that tells her something could happen if she lets it. And here's the part that will shock most men. When she calls you trouble, she's not warning you at all. She's practically begging you to lean into it. She's telling you she wants to feel the danger, the thrill, the electricity that only you can spark. This is why the worst mistake you can make is trying to downplay it. Most guys panic when they hear that word. They immediately try to defend themselves. They say, "Oh no, I'm actually a good guy," or "I'm really not trouble at all." And in that moment, they kill the attraction. You don't win her over by proving you're safe. You win her over by embracing the energy she's giving you. The correct response isn't to calm her down. It's to escalate the tension. Say something like, "The best kind of trouble," or "You have no idea." Short, confident, playful. That's how you feed the fire instead of putting it out. That's how you keep her leaning in instead of pulling away. But this isn't the only signal men miss. There's another one so subtle that most guys never even notice it, and it comes down to something primal. Scent. When a woman comments on how you smell, she's giving away far more than she realizes. Because women don't notice scent unless they've already been close enough to feel something. Think about that. She has to get within range to pick up your smell, which means she was already looking for a reason to be near you. And here's the deeper layer. Attraction through scent goes beyond cologne or soap. It taps into biology. Her body reacts to yours on a subconscious level. If she compliments the way you smell, she's not just saying you picked the right fragrance. She's admitting her attraction is so strong, her senses are heightened around you. She notices your presence. She's imagining being close enough to have your scent on her clothes, on her pillow, on her skin. This is not the same as complimenting your shirt or your watch. Those are surface-level observations. Scent goes straight to the brain's attraction center. It's primal. It's instinctual. It's not something she thinks about. It's something she feels. That's why when she comments on your smell, she's saying, "I want to be closer to you." She's admitting, even if indirectly, that she's drawn to you in a way she can't rationalize. And again, most men blow this moment. They laugh it off or brush it away. But if you understand what's really happening, you know you've already passed one of the deepest attraction tests possible. You don't just smell good to her. You feel right to her. You're triggering her at the most fundamental level. And that's when you lean in a little closer. That's when you let her know, without saying a word, that the chemistry between you isn't just in her head. It's real. Now let's talk about another phrase that flips men upside down. I don't usually do this. Every man has heard it, and almost every man believes it. But here's the truth. She's not really warning you that she's out of character. She's telling you that she's already decided she wants to do something with you, and she's giving herself the justification. This phrase is her way of protecting her own self-image while making the choice to go further with you. When she says, "I don't usually do this," what she means is, "You make me want to break my rules." She's telling you that you're different from the men she normally deals with, that you've stirred up something strong enough that she's willing to bend her boundaries. And here's the critical point. She's not asking you for permission. She's not unsure. She's already given herself the green light. Now she's just making sure you see it too. The worst response you can give is hesitation or doubt. Don't make her defend her choice. Don't push her to explain herself. Instead, validate it. Smile and say, "Sometimes the best moments happen when you break your own rules." Or, "I like that you're spontaneous." By responding this way, you give her the reassurance she wants without taking away the excitement. You make her feel good about stepping outside her comfort zone, which makes her want to keep stepping further. These signals may sound simple, but they're the difference between watching attraction slip through your fingers and knowing how to guide it into something unforgettable. And once you start noticing them, you'll realize how often they show up. They're there in the way she teases you, the way she looks at you, the way she words her sentences. They're invitations hiding in plain sight. And we're just getting started, because there are still more signals ahead, and once you understand them, you'll never be confused by a woman's words again. So make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notifications, because decoding this secret language could be the difference between another lonely night and the connection you've been waiting for. If you thought the first signals were powerful, the next ones will blow your mind, because these are the phrases women use when they're already imagining what it would be like to take things further with you. And if you can't see them for what they really are, you'll keep walking away at the exact moment she's hoping you'll step up. One of the clearest but most misunderstood signs is when she mentions the time. Maybe she glances at her phone, sighs, and says, "It's getting late." Most men panic when they hear that. They assume the night is about to end. They figure she's politely wrapping things up. But watch closely, because if she immediately follows it with something like, "But I'm having such a good time," she isn't giving you an excuse to leave. She's opening the door wider than ever. What she's really saying is, "I should go, but I don't want to." She's caught between what's socially acceptable and what she actually feels. On one hand, she knows she could go home. On the other, she's hoping you'll give her a reason not to. This is where most men blow it. They nod, play it safe, and let the night end. Meanwhile, the guy who understands what's happening leans in with confidence. He says, "The night's still young," or "The fun doesn't have to stop here." And just like that, he takes what she gave him and uses it to move things forward. This is where the power of plausible deniability comes in. By mentioning the time, she can protect herself. If nothing happens, she can say she was just being polite. If something does happen, she can tell herself it wasn't her idea. But don't get it twisted. This is her signal for you to lead. This is her way of handing you the keys without ever saying it outright. Now let's talk about another phrase that sounds casual but carries heavy weight. When a woman asks about your living situation, "Do you live nearby?" or "Where do you stay?" she isn't just curious about your real estate. She's not making small talk. She's calculating logistics. She's running the numbers in her head to figure out if it's even possible to extend the night. If she asks that question, she's already picturing herself alone with you. She's already wondering whether tonight ends at her place, yours, or somewhere private. Sometimes she'll even tip her hand further. "My roommate's gone this weekend," or "I'm just a few minutes away." That's not random information. That's an invitation. She's literally telling you that opportunity exists if you're bold enough to act on it. This is where your response matters. Don't get awkward. Don't freeze up. A smooth answer like, "Close enough," or "That's convenient," lets her know you understand what she's really asking. You're signaling that you're on the same wavelength without making it crude or heavy. And when she feels you caught her subtext, the tension only grows stronger. Another one that throws men off is when she suddenly flips the script and asks something personal like, "Do I look innocent?" On the surface, it sounds playful, but underneath, this is huge. Because women don't ask that unless they want you to see the side of them that isn't innocent at all. This is her way of testing whether you can handle her complexity. She's saying, "I'm not just the sweet girl you see in public. I have layers. I have a wild side I don't show everyone, and I want you to see it." That's not small talk. That's an invitation. It's her way of showing you there's more to her than meets the eye, and she's daring you to respond the right way. The mistake most guys make is treating it like a joke. They laugh nervously, change the subject, or say something that kills the vibe. Don't do that. The right move is validation. A line like, "I had a feeling you're full of surprises," or "There's more to you than meets the eye," gives her exactly what she's hoping for. You're acknowledging her depth. You're telling her you see the tension between the good girl and the bad girl inside her, and you're interested in both. This is crucial because women want to be seen as multidimensional. They want to feel like you can handle the version of them that's classy in public but passionate in private. If she doesn't think you can handle that duality, she won't open up further. But if you pass this test, she'll pull you deeper into her world than you imagined. And sometimes she won't even use a question. Sometimes she'll just look at you and say, "You're different." Don't underestimate the power of that statement. It's not casual. It's not something she says to every guy. When a woman tells you you're different, She's admitting you've already made an impression that goes beyond surface-level attraction. She's comparing you to every man she's dealt with before, and in her mind, you're standing out. That phrase means she's feeling something she doesn't usually feel. It means you've triggered an emotional or physical reaction that caught her off guard. And when she says it, she's not just observing, she's appreciating. Most men hear "you're different" and don't know what to do with it. They downplay it. They get awkward. But the best response is simple. Own it. Say something like, "Different can be good," or "I like being different." You don't need to justify it or ask her to explain. Just accept it with confidence. That tells her you're comfortable in your skin, and that comfort is exactly what makes her attraction grow stronger. The bottom line is this: every one of these signals is an open door, but only if you know how to see it. The man who's blind to them will walk away, scratching his head, wondering why he never gets lucky. The man who understands them knows exactly when to step forward and exactly how to lead. That's the man women can't resist, and we're only halfway through. The next signals are even more direct, even more revealing, and they'll show you how close you really are to the moment she's been waiting for. So don't miss what's next. Subscribe right now, because the difference between missing the moment and making it happen is about to get very clear. By now, you're starting to see the pattern. Women rarely hand you attraction signals directly. They wrap them in layers of plausible deniability, in phrases that sound innocent, but are anything but. And the next one is one of the boldest, yet men still miss it every single day. Picture this. The night is going well. The chemistry is building. The tension is thick. Then she leans back, looks at you, and casually asks, "So, what now?" To most men, this sounds harmless. Just a filler, just a question about plans. But make no mistake, this is her putting the ball in your hands. When she asks what now, she's not confused. She knows exactly what could happen next. She's not looking for coffee or small talk or weekend plans. She's feeling the heat, and she wants you to take charge. What she's really saying is, "I'm turned on. I want this to go further. Please show me you know what to do." This is where leadership matters more than anything. She's giving you permission without ever admitting it outright. She's handing you the steering wheel and testing whether you're man enough to drive. The worst thing you could do is answer with something bland like, "I don't know. What do you want to do?" That kills the tension. It shows hesitation. It makes her wonder if you even feel what she feels. The right move? Smooth escalation. Say something like, "I've got a few ideas," with a sly smile. Or, "Let's go somewhere more private and find out." Short, direct, confident. You're not forcing anything. You're simply guiding the moment where she clearly wants it to go. And when she sees you step into that role without fear, her attraction spikes instantly. But then comes the most counterintuitive signal of them all, the one that flips men upside down because it sounds like the exact opposite of what it means. At some point, when the energy is peaking, she may suddenly say, "Just so you know, we're not having sex tonight." And this is where almost every man panics. They hear those words and their heart sinks. They pull back. They think the wall has gone up. But here's the truth. That sentence is one of the clearest signs that sex is already on her mind. Because why else would she bring it up at all? Think about it. If sex weren't already in the air, if she weren't already considering it, there'd be no reason to mention it. By saying no sex tonight, she's admitting she's thought about it. She's addressing the elephant in the room, the sexual tension that's been building, and in trying to push it away, she's actually confirming it's there. This statement serves multiple purposes for her. It protects her self-image. She can tell herself she's not that kind of girl. It reduces pressure by lowering expectations. And paradoxically, it intensifies the desire by naming what's on both your minds. When she says it, she's not shutting the door. She's leaving it cracked open just wide enough for you to see. Here's the critical point most men miss. This isn't a boundary. It's a disclaimer. She's not saying it won't happen. She's saying if it does, it wasn't planned. It just happened. That way, she gets to protect her reputation while still giving herself permission to cross the line. Your response here makes all the difference. The worst thing you can do is argue. Don't push back. Don't try to convince her otherwise. That will kill everything. The best move is calm acknowledgement. Smile and say, "Of course not," or "I wouldn't assume otherwise." You're showing her that you're not pressuring her. You're comfortable with the tension. You're in control of yourself. And here's the paradox. When she feels that pressure lift, when she realizes you're not forcing her into anything, she becomes more open to escalation, because now it feels like her choice. And women crave that sense of choice. They want the freedom to act in the moment while protecting their self-image. So the next time you hear "no sex tonight," don't hear rejection. Hear confirmation. Hear desire hidden in denial. Understand that she's already thought about it, already felt it, already weighed the possibility. And if you stay calm, confident, and present, there's a good chance she'll end up doing exactly what she swore she wouldn't. That's why these signals matter so much. They're not just casual words. They're her secret language. A language designed to let her express attraction while keeping her image intact. A language most men never learn, which is why they keep missing opportunities that were right in front of them. And here's the truth. The more fluent you become in that language, the more everything changes. Suddenly, the confusion disappears. The doubt fades. You stop second-guessing yourself and start responding like a man who understands women on a deeper level than 90% of guys ever will. But we're not done yet. The final part is where everything comes together. It's where you'll learn how to respond to each of these signals with precision. So you don't just recognize attraction, you know exactly how to build it into something unforgettable. Stay tuned, because the last piece of this puzzle could be the difference between going home alone and going home with her. Now you understand the truth. Women don't communicate desire directly. They don't walk up and say, "I want you." Instead, they wrap attraction inside phrases that sound like hesitation, inside signals that only the men who get it can read. She says she should leave, when deep down she wants to stay. She claims she doesn't usually do this, when she's already decided she wants to break her rules. She tells you sex isn't happening, when she's actually thinking about how much she wants it to. These aren't contradictions. They're part of her secret language. This is how women navigate attraction. They need to protect their image while still showing you they're interested. They need to feel safe while also keeping the tension alive. That's why they speak in opposites. That's why what sounds like a red light is often the biggest green light you'll ever get. Most men never learn this. They walk through life taking her words at face value. They miss the signals, misread the subtext, and end up frustrated, lonely, and confused. They leave dates thinking, "She just wasn't into me," when in reality she was practically begging them to make a move. But you're not going to be like most men, because now you know the code. You know that when she calls you trouble, she's telling you she wants the danger. When she comments on your scent, she's admitting she's already imagined being close to you. When she asks, "What now?" she's handing you the keys. And when she insists nothing's going to happen, she's revealing she's been thinking about exactly that. The difference between men who succeed with women and men who fail comes down to this: awareness. The man who can decode her language instantly separates himself from the crowd. He's the man who doesn't miss opportunities. He's the man who knows when to lead, when to escalate, and when to let the tension breathe. And that confidence? It's magnetic. It's the reason women feel comfortable letting go around him. But recognizing the signals is only half the battle. The other half is knowing how to respond. And this is where calibration matters. You don't bulldoze your way forward. You don't ignore her subtext. You match her energy and then raise it slightly. Step by step. Confident, but controlled. That's what builds trust and desire at the same time. When she says you're trouble, don't deny it. Lean into it. When she comments on your smell, close the gap between you. When she admits she doesn't usually do this, encourage her choice. When she says she should leave but doesn't want to, show her the night isn't over. When she asks, "What now?" step up and lead. And when she says no because, respect it, but hold the tension in place. That's what separates the men who constantly lose chances from the men women can't resist. Women want you to get it. They want you to succeed. They're not trying to confuse you. They're trying to protect themselves while still showing interest. Once you realize that, everything changes. Imagine never again walking away confused. Imagine never again missing the signals that were right in front of you. Imagine stepping into every interaction knowing that if she's interested, you'll recognize it, and you'll know exactly how to respond. That's what fluency in her language gives you. And here's the best part. When women feel understood, when they feel you can read their signals, they relax. They let go. They trust you. And that trust is what opens the door to the most passionate, unforgettable connections you'll ever experience. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about tricking her. This is about awareness, intelligence, and respect. It's about seeing her for who she really is and connecting on the level she's actually operating on. And once you do that, you'll never go back to guessing games again. So let me ask you, how many signals have you missed in the past? How many times have you walked away from a woman not realizing she was silently giving you the green light? And more importantly, how many more opportunities are you willing to let slip through your fingers? If the answer is none, then hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications, because I'm going to keep breaking down the psychology of attraction in ways no one else will show you. Don't be the guy who keeps walking away empty-handed. Be the guy who understands the hidden language, who sees the signals, who acts with confidence. Because the women worth being with, they're already sending you invitations. It's time to finally accept them.